Yesterday, I made a video about the status of the U.S. Citizenship Act of 2021 and mainly about immigration reforms. And in that video, I also talked about the status of the visas for those who are waiting for green card visas to be increased from 55,000 to 80,000. I touched that one. But that is part of the overall Immigration Act of 2021, the U.S. Citizenship Act of 2021. But today I'm going to talk about the Plan C. Remember, there was a Plan A, Plan B. This is a Plan C of the Democratic Party to pass through the immigration process. The first plan, or Plan A, was rejected by the Senate parliamentarian. Then the second proposal, or the Plan B, was also rejected. So now they are working on the Plan C. So in order to do that, I have to take you to why, or what are the reasoning for the Plan A to be rejected and the Plan B to be rejected, and why the Plan C will be a little bit different, but will be a better option possible to be able to pass it through. Remember, Plan C is about the parole, the protection for the people. So if I read here, they say Dems, Democratic Party, have been working on the Plan C on immigration after the parliamentarian rejected their two initial immigration pitches. Their third option will provide the temporary protection from deportation and work authorization for certain undocumented immigrants. So that is what is going to happen, which is called parole. So let's go to talk about the first, or Plan A and Plan B, why we are rejected, the reasoning behind, and why the Plan C, the parole, will be possible to be able to work. So I have my notes here. So the question will be, will parliamentarian be able to approve the Plan C? Or in other way, does the parole to be included as part of the immigration path to be able to be allowed to be able to go through, and someone to be able to be allowed to pass through the reconciliation process? So if the protection through it goes through and work authorization through the parole, if you estimate how many immigrants will be able to be eligible for immigration parole, will be 7.08, 7 million and something. 7 million people will be able to do that. That is according to the data which has been given. But what is the likelihood of that parole to be able to pass through the reconciliation? Parliamentarian to allow. Remember, parliamentarian is Democrat. And I'll be also mentioning the problems with the Democrats, because some people that are talking about, oh, this is Democrats versus Republican, but all this is happening now, they are within Democrats first. Within Democrats, are some supporting, some are not. Some are not going through. For instance, to be not included in the process, parliamentarian is Democrat, and is the one who is going to determine by the power parliamentarian has, Senate parliamentarian, to include anything to go, to advise and put anything to go into the, to be part of what is called the budget reconciliation. For those who do not know, budget reconciliation process is that time you are allowing the vote to be just if the simple majority, just by 51 votes. The current Senate, there are 50 Republican, 48 Democratic, 2 independent who are Democratic caucus, so they make it 50-50. Vice President usually is in the Senate, as the head of the Senate is going to vote, will be 51 votes. That is how it is. So that is a simple majority. If that is if you go through budget reconciliation. There are limitations of how many times you can do the budget reconciliation in a fiscal year. They have already done one, Democratic done one during the time of the budget of the when they did the stimulus. This is the second one. They are going to pass it through the time of the infrastructure bill. So if they go through this way, this is one. Remember, the plan was to pass over 3.5 trillion, but 2 senators said no within Democratic. Now they are almost 1.5. They are going to be 1 in that particular way. So, there are certain. There is a rule in order to be able to go through the what is called the something to go to the reconciliation process to determine. So in order to do that, to be allowed, they say, which is the Byrd rule, former Senator Robert Byrd, whatever we pronounce his name, the one when they started the reconciliation process, and how do you determine which one to go there or not. So they say the policy must impact the federal budget. So if you talk about the immigration in general, yes, it has a bigger impact on the budget. So for that particular case, it fits on that particular angle. That is one of the filter you have to go through. It has to, the policy must impact the federal budget. But the second filter didn't go through, which says the budget impact outweighs the policy impact. So that didn't go through as the reason why it didn't go. So there are certain, we call it the merely incidental test. There is a test you have to go through to be able to allow certain kind of things, especially to go through the reconciliation process. So this is what parliamentarian looked at. Number 1, it said it would create a new pathway to status. So it will be completely change of the status, someone coming from being undocumented immigrant to become a permanent resident and later become a citizen. So for that particular reason, they say you are not going to go through reconciliation. The second thing said, this is a pathway to citizenship, contains life-changing benefits. If you become a citizen, is life-changing benefits. You can sponsor other people. You can do, there are so many other things. So for that particular reason. And if it passes through, reconciliation, they say a future Congress could revoke the protection through another reconciliation. So it is not, even if so, you are going to give life-changing, at the same time you went through the process of reconciliation. What if another reconciliation comes after another election? So the question is, so that is the reason why Plan A and Plan B didn't go through. So with the change to go to the parole, so the parole, as I said, is just a protection. As I say, Dems have been working on the Plan C on immigration after parliamentarians rejected their 2 initial immigration pitches. The first 2 immigration pitches were to go to do the status change, life-changing pathway, which was to go from a documented to green card and become citizen. So the third option will provide temporary protection from deportation and work authorization for certain undocumented. So if you do that way, it means you are not going to do the life-changing. You are not going to do the completely life-changing in that particular sense. What is happening is the parole is just a protection from deportation and work authorization. Parole, this parole will not give someone a green card, will not give someone a permanent resident, will not create someone to be permanent resident right away. Yes, there are certain situations with this protection, you can be sponsored in a certain way. There is a certain stipulation down the road. So the parole, the likelihood of being able to pass is the fact that it will not create. If we are talking about, we are fearing this pathway was to go and give pathway to status. So parole will not give the pathway to status. And again, so for that particular case, a future Congress could revoke the protection through reconciliation. Yes, can do that because it can do that. But the funny thing is, or the most interesting thing is, the parole system is part of the U.S. immigration law. The parole has been part of the law, of immigration law, since 1952. So it is not a new process. So when you go through the reconciliation, through this one, and ask for the parole, you are not going to innovate or to bring something new. You are not changing. But when they are going to say the previous system was to change the date, remember, if you are undocumented immigrant coming to the United States before 1972, you are allowed to be given a green card. But if you say from 2010, you are changing the date to give all these people, so it was going to change the situation. But this parole system has been part of the law, so you are not going to change or to introduce the new process. And because of that, to assure, to avoid the debates between the Republican and the Democrats or within Democrats, which is going on, the parole system comes with the limitation which distinguish it from just from green card. Remember, if you have green card, you have so many freedom, but a parole has certain type of there is a certain type of restrictions. For instance, you have to apply for work permits, and you have to apply if you want to travel outside. You just become like an international student. If you're traveling outside the country, you have to fill a certain particular form. You have to use your I-20. They have to update when you're traveling out of the country. So this one, it comes like with a certain kind of restriction of work permit. So the future Congress do not need to revoke anything, because this is part of the process. It's part of the law. Parole has been part of the law. So that is something is going on. But also, there are some of Democrats want to go extreme to the sense that they suggest they have to fire parliamentarian, like, so that they can pass. It is very, personally, I don't support that one. So there are 13 Democratic members. They have in the Senate, they called Senate to just bypass the what? To bypass the parliamentarian, but is there by law. So, for instance, one says, one of the representatives says, this should be a wake-up call for Democrats in the Senate, that the parliamentarian is simply an advisor and not, and we have to do like how Republicans have been able to do in the past. Either we put aside that ruling, or we fire that parliamentarian and we can continue with our own life, whatever kind of that. So still is a very big situation. So this is a battle within the Democrats first. When you finish that one, you have to go to meet Republicans to agree with them. So that is something I want to point out about that. So the plan overall will help a lot. And I'll come with another video about the protection with the certain type of workers with this particular immigration, how it's going to help with people with the H1 visa and those kind of green card backlog.